On June 4th, an unexpected earthquake and associated booming sounds were felt and heard by many who lived in Las Vegas. Registering in as a magnitude 3.8, this earthquake, which occurred at 1:47 p.m. local time on Thursday, had an epicenter directly within Red Rock Canyon, 16.6 miles west-northwest of the local international airport, causing no damage. And with the numerous scenic and exposed rock units, you can actually physically see the fault line which produced this earthquake. What I am referring to is a local fault line of the normal fault type known as the Turtlehead Mountain Fault, which, under the greatest mapped extent I could find, is just under 10 miles long. In other words, due to extensional regional stresses, a portion of the right side of this fault line moved upwards in relation to its left side, while at the same time the right side moved southwards in comparison to the left side. The earthquake was oblique in nature, with both vertical and horizontal components occurring on it, although it was largely normal fault related. Across much of Nevada, the crust is slowly spreading apart to the east and west in what is known as the Basin and Range Province. This has created numerous repeating series of mountain ranges and valleys. Many fault lines are located on the edges of uplifted mountain blocks, such as at Red Rock Canyon and the eastern side of the La Madre Mountains. Stress from this extension builds up over time until a segment of a regional fault line slips to accommodate this motion, generating an earthquake. However, in the case of Thursday's earthquake, at most only a 3,435-foot-long segment of the Turtlehead Mountain Fault moved. Yet, this was sufficient to denote the largest historical earthquake to strike within 20 miles of the historic city center of Las Vegas, just beating out a magnitude 3.7 earthquake near Henderson in 1952. If you are one of the estimated 2.5 million people which felt Thursday's earthquake, you might be wondering why you heard a notable booming sound during the event. Well, what you were hearing was the arrival of the faster-moving P seismic waves moving through the air. It just so happened to have been more prominent because the La Madre Mountains acted as a natural, vaguely C-shaped amphitheater to boost its volume and prolong its extent. Now, with the occurrence of this week's 3.8 earthquake, you might be wondering what exactly is the largest earthquake that could originate within the earlier mentioned 20-mile radius of Las Vegas's historic city center. The answer? Well, some sources claim that in a worst-case scenario that up to a magnitude 7.0 earthquake could be theoretically possible, some math I used was only able to suggest at least up to a magnitude 6.6 was possible. And such an earthquake, in my opinion, would only be possible in the future on one nearby fault line, the Frenchman Mountain Fault shown here to the east of Las Vegas. But do not worry too much. Compared to Reno and certain segments in the west of the state, the implied long-term seismic hazard in Las Vegas is notably lower. The chance of a magnitude 5.0 or larger, 6.0 or larger, and 7.0 or larger striking within 50 kilometers or 31.1 miles of Las Vegas during the next century, in my opinion, is 59.5%, 13.3%, and just slightly under 1% respectively. This really isn't all that high in terms of a city in the broader Basin and Range Province. I am only mentioning this to provide context to the area's long-term seismic hazard, and not because there is a likelihood of Thursday's earthquake triggering one of these magnitude 5 or greater quakes as an aftershock, because, well, there isn't a likelihood of that happening. To learn more about the rock units and fault lines in the Red Rock Canyon area in western Las Vegas, check out this geologic map linked in the video description. Just note that not every fault line listed in this geologic map is still active and capable of producing earthquakes. As a final note, I would like to thank this channel's patrons on Patreon and channel members on YouTube for supporting my work.